Hey everyone, this is Zach Semke, Director of Passive House Accelerator and co-host of the Passive House podcast. What you're about to hear is a bonus podcast episode recorded at North American Passive House Network's conference entitled Passive House for All that took place in June 2021 in New York City. This was a hybrid conference that happened as the U.S. was emerging from the COVID pandemic, and people were attending virtually as well as in person. And we at the Accelerator collaborated with NAPHN to conduct a series of 18 interviews on the exhibit hall floor of the conference. And you'll definitely hear some hustle and bustle in the background. This first interview is with Michael Ingui, principal at Baxt Ingui Architects and founder of the Passive House Accelerator. Before we dive into the interview, I want to say a couple of thank yous. First, a big thank you to North American Passive House Network for putting on this conference and for allowing us to do these interviews. And second, a big thank you to our sponsors who made my trip and these podcast episodes possible. Our founding sponsors are 475 High Performance Building Supply, Baxt Ingui Architects, Mitsubishi Electric Trane HVAC US, Partel, Glavel, Minotaur, RDH Building Science, Rockwell North America, StoCorp, and Zola Windows. Our champion sponsor is SIGA, and our stakeholder partner is NYSERDA, the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority. With that, please enjoy my interview with Michael. So welcome, I'm Zach Semke, I'm Director of Passive House Accelerator, and this is Michael Ingui. Michael, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Michael Ingui from Baxt Ingui Architects, and I'm also the founder of the Passive House Accelerator. Lucky enough to work with Zach here.
Right back at you. Mm-hmm. We're kind of emerging as a country from COVID, and the NAPHN conference in June of 2021 is a hybrid conference. So we're very excited to be in the in-person half of the hybrid conference and actually in Manhattan right now at the conference site. And there are a lot of people who are also attending online. So it's a really interesting kind of time for all of us and a model for doing a Passive House conference. And NAPHN, I think, should be lauded for kind of taking this leadership in creating a space for us to come together as we are emerging from the pandemic. So, Michael, the title of the conference is Passive House for All. What are you hoping to gain, or what are you hoping to kind of take away from the conference this year?
Yeah, thanks, Zach. I'm excited just to be here, in person, to see everyone. All these little Zoom faces, and now we're together, which is great. But what I'm really excited about, I feel like Passive House over the last number of years and even before that has such a great foundation, and now it's okay. Well, where can we bring it now? How far can we take it? Where can we build it that we weren't building it before? How do we get it into more affordable projects? How do we take what we've learned on, for example, my projects, which are high-end retrofits? How do I bring what I've learned on those projects to a much broader scale and share that? And I think the community is ready for it. I think the group here, it's just full of people with answers. So the question is going to be for me in 2021 and 2022 is, how do we broaden our group and share those so that we can have it for all? Yeah. I feel like everyone's there, everyone's ready, and I'm kind of excited to see everybody come out of their cocoons, see where they're going to head, see what their goals are, and it's going to be fun to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely great to actually be with humans again.
Yes.
And I think it's funny because we've spent so many months now on Zoom screens that people are like, oh, you're that tall, or people are. It's like that kind of conversation has become really common because we've become, I think, so accustomed to interacting with one another on this little, the little screen.
So true.
To be together, which is awesome. So, and this week is also the second birthday of Passive House Accelerator. That we hit that mile mark just a couple of days ago. Mm-hmm. But what do you see coming down the pike? What's your What are your hopes and aspirations for the accelerator in the coming years?
Well, I mean, I think from this past year, what was exciting about the accelerator was just everybody being online, and what Sean and Monty came to us with in terms of the happy hours, and just how broadly that people came onto that, and how much information was shared, and very similar to what I was describing at the conference. What I see happening with what we see happening with the accelerator, but I think it's ready for it, especially with the new site launched and how that interacts with all the other sites, and how we are truly collaborating with all these different groups and individuals. Again, I kind of feel like we have that base to really, truly much further, or bring it much further out, and broaden the scope of who's interested. I mean, you know, some of the lessons in Passive House, they just can't be unlearned. So, you know, you get the architects and the builders who are just a little curious about better building. You get them into one spot, you show them some of these projects, you have some of these fantastic speakers, share some of that information. It's going to be, it's just going to continue to grow. I'm really excited about this year. Yeah, and then the accelerator is in a great spot to do it, and a lot of that's thanks to you. I won't say it too much, but I will.
Big team effort. I mean,
and Mary, and having the magazine is huge. I mean, the Retrofit magazine coming out today. So, you know, just having Mary James on board, and everyone else that came on board with Mary, like Sydney and so forth, and Tamara, having the whole team and having a magazine to go with it. And just the level of curation of articles and the way they're written and the information on the page is yet one more fantastic vehicle to send that out there. And it's going to be fun.
You know, Ken in the opening remarks just a little bit ago was talking about this theme of the generosity of the Passive House community, and we hear that a lot because it's really true. I mean, the Passive House community is full of people who are super smart. And also really willing to share their knowledge and share innovations and share their, you know, what might in other industries be considered secrets are being shared. And I think so. One of the things that I think Ken was expressing, and I feel this way about the accelerator as well, is that our work is really a manifestation of what the community is. And I think that's what's been so exciting to watch happen in the last couple of years is the community come together. And COVID was definitely, I think, something that pushed us online and really into a mode of really seeking community. And that has been the reason that I think the last couple of years have been so fun and exciting.
I think a good example of that are some of the dry runs that we have before the happy hours, the day before. And so you'll get an architect on who's just doing groundbreaking work. And maybe the builder's on with them, and they're showing us the presentation that they're going to have. And what they're asking us is, am I sharing enough? Is the detail clear enough? And there's just nothing behind the door anymore. I mean, everything's out in the open. And really what they're asking us continuously is, well, how can I share this better? Is it clear enough? Can people take it away enough? And they know their competitors are on, and other architects are on, and they're so excited about and so interested. Well, you know, did I clearly depict it? And then during the happy hours, you know, they're openly describing these things, and then they're on for an hour and a half just answering every single question about all these things that really they probably have poured 4, 5, 6 years into, money, time, effort, and they're just sharing it. And then for me, I mean, sometimes I'm kind of holding on for dear life. I'm understanding some of it, not all of it.
No, I feel you there.
And but you know, sharing it this broadly, and all of a sudden, someone from Australia says, "Yeah, but what about that?" And all of a sudden, you know, the person who was teaching everyone learned something, and all of a sudden, something like kind of magical happens. And it's addictive. It's fun.
Yeah, it is, and it's the same sort of sharing that's happening at the conference here at the Passive House for All conference. And this is a concentration of a lot of that packed into 2 days. So it's going to be really fun to watch this happen for sure.
I hope you enjoyed that special bonus episode of the Passive House podcast.
On behalf of everyone here at the Passive House Accelerator, thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more on the Passive House podcast. Thank you. Bye-bye.